We are ranking the 6 most iconic Christmas treats, judging each on taste, texture, and holiday nostalgia. From heavy classics that haunt dessert tables to modern sweets that barely survive until morning, some of these are legendary for all the wrong reasons. Which treat is all hype, and which one truly wins Christmas? Let us kick off the countdown with number 6. Fruitcake lands at number 6 for one reason. Nobody actually wants it, but it keeps showing up. This is the only dessert with a shelf life so legendary, historians have found 130-year-old fruitcakes in Antarctic huts, and they were still technically edible. Packed with neon candied fruit and enough sugar and booze to outlast nuclear winter, fruitcake started as a Victorian status symbol, the centerpiece of holiday tables and royal weddings. Fast forward to the 1950s, and it became the punchline of every regifting joke, with Johnny Carson insisting there is just one fruitcake in the world that keeps getting passed around. The texture? Imagine a brick made of gummy bears and raisins, wrapped in nostalgia and regret. If you must buy one, go for a tiny fancy loaf from a real bakery, otherwise you are just buying next year's white elephant gift. Fruitcake scores lowest for taste, texture, and actual holiday joy. Christmas pudding takes the 5th spot, weighed down by tradition and actual heft. Born from medieval frumenty, it is built on beef suet and breadcrumbs, steamed in cloth for hours, then aged until it is dense as a brick. Stir Up Sunday brings the whole family together to stir and wish. But the real gamble is the hidden sixpence, lucky if you find it, unlucky if you chip a tooth or worse. The grand finale is a flaming brandy pour that can turn the dessert into a fire hazard. The ritual is unmatched, but the texture and safety risks keep it from rising any higher. Store-bought slice and bake cookies promise holiday magic with zero effort, but what you actually get is a tray of droopy snowmen and reindeer that look like they've seen better days. The ingredient list reads like a chemistry quiz: vegetable oil, artificial vanilla, stabilizers, and enough preservatives to survive a nuclear winter. Taste tests consistently rank these cookies as bland, overly sweet, and missing any real butter flavor. And here is the kicker. Making a batch from scratch takes about the same time as slicing, arranging, and baking the factory stuff. If the flavor letdown is not enough, remember the 2009 Nestle recall when E. coli in refrigerated dough sent dozens to the hospital and forced a nationwide pull from shelves. So yes, you can upgrade with mix-ins, but honestly, kids deserve better than cookies that taste like disappointment and come with a side of outbreak history. Candy canes show up every December, but let's be honest, no one's sneaking an extra one after dinner. The story about a German choir master inventing them for quiet church kids is total holiday fiction. The real candy cane as we know it, with peppermint flavor, red and white stripes, and that iconic hook, did not take over until the late 1800s, when factories figured out how to twist and bend sugar sticks by the thousands. By the 1950s, high-speed machines were pumping out miles of striped candy rope, and entire towns were roped into seasonal shift work just to keep up with demand. The flavor is pure, sharp peppermint and a whole lot of sugar. Great for decorating trees, less great for actually eating. These days you can find novelty flavors like pickle or bacon, but let's face it, candy canes are better crushed into cocoa or stuck on a wreath than eaten straight. They are pure Christmas nostalgia, more ornament than treat, and that is exactly why they land right in the middle. Sugar cookies with royal icing are the Christmas treat that finally delivers on all the hype. Start with real butter, no margarine, no shortening, just actual dairy, and you get a buttery cookie that melts the second it hits your tongue. The dough itself is a blank canvas, soft, rich, and ready to be cut into anything from snowflakes to T-Rex Santas. But it is the royal icing that turns these into edible art. Made from powdered sugar and egg whites, it dries to a glossy, glassy shell that holds up through shipping, swaps, and the occasional kitchen disaster. That is why Instagram and TikTok are packed with home bakers piping out tiny masterpieces, selling custom sets for $2 a cookie or more. The kicker? You can make a whole batch at home for about 30 cents a cookie if you are willing to put in a couple of hours. Whether you are going full DIY or splurging on a bakery box, these cookies actually taste as good as they look. They are the star of every cookie platter, the go-to for teacher gifts, and the reason your family still bothers to decorate together. Near perfect balance of flavor, texture, and holiday magic, edged out only by the treat that takes the top spot for pure speed and crave factor. Peppermint Bark is the holiday treat that finally gets it all right, fast, flawless, and impossible not to love. Start with a base of dark chocolate, pour on a thick layer of real white chocolate, none of that waxy compound stuff, and finish with a blizzard of crushed peppermint candy. The result, every bite snaps, melts, and crunches in perfect balance. Williams-Sonoma took this from a home kitchen experiment to a seasonal legend in the late 1990s, turning their bark into the gold standard, guittared chocolate, pure peppermint oil, and a cult following that crashes their website every December. But you do not need a platinum credit card to join the party. Melt, layer, and sprinkle at home, and you have a batch in under 15 minutes. Real cocoa butter makes all the difference, so skip the bargain tins with palm oil and fake mint. Peppermint Bark stores for weeks, ships without drama, and looks like you spent way more effort than you did. It is the only Christmas treat that tastes as good on day 20 as it does on day 1, sweet, minty, chocolatey, and universally giftable. That is why it is number 1, no contest. Across all 6 treats, nostalgia battles flavor every holiday. Old traditions linger, but our taste buds crave freshness and boldness. Christmas sweets prove that memory is powerful, but taste always wins. Which side are you on?